I just told Claude to follow up with the client at 3 p.m. It called them, handled the entire conversation, and sent me a summary. And I didn't have to touch my phone a single time. In this video, I'll show you guys how I built an AI phone agent system that handles all your client calls for you. So anything from cold calling, follow-ups, feedback calls, anything you want to do, it's fully automated. And the crazy part is that the whole thing runs from a single chat window. So all I need to do is just tell Claude who to call and when to call, and it's going to handle the rest for me. So without any further ado, let's jump in the computer and I'll show you how to build it. All right, so here I am inside of Claude and I'll show you guys how this automation works first, then we're going to learn how to build it. So my prompt is call Nafe at this number and ask him if he's still interested in getting the insurance policy. So for example, if you want to follow up with the client or something like that, you can make as many agents as you want and basically complete any task that you would like to. For example, following up with the client, maybe getting after service feedback, anything like that, you can, build any sort of agent. But if I send this, and as you can see at the bottom right hand side, I am getting a phone call on my phone.
Yeah, I'm calling from the Phase Insurance. You'd shown some interest in one of our insurance plans a little while back. I just wanted to follow up and see if you had a chance to think about getting coverage or if you had any questions I can help with.
No, I'm not interested anymore. Thank you.
Thanks for letting me know. If you ever change your mind or have questions in the future, we're here to help. Have a great day.
And as you guys could hear, that agent sounded really realistic. It was almost like a human being, but you can see that, the call was made. Now, if I go ahead and ask it, what did they say? Like, how did they respond to the call? We're going to see that it's going to get all the information about that call and it's going to give it to us. Now you can use this information to populate a CRM, for example, have a Google Sheets file or anything like that. You can do pretty much all of that with Claude. Now, if I show you my setup, you're going to see that I'm using this platform called Retell AI. Retell AI is what's powering the voice agents. You can see that I have 3 agents here. The first one is lead follow-up agent. The next one is post-claim feedback agent, and another one is renewal reminder agent. All these agents are specialized to do their own thing. Like the follow-up agent is going to follow up with the client. The post-claim feedback is going to ask for feedback, as the name says. And what Claude is doing here is whenever I give it the context of, why you want to call someone, based on that information, it's going to choose which agent to call, right? For example, if I ask it to, follow up with the client, it's going to use this agent. If I ask it to, remind someone to renew their plan, it's going to use this agent. And there's really no limit on how many agents you can set up with Retell. You could have like 100 agents if you want, all of them doing their own little thing. And then you give all those agent IDs to Claude, it's automatically going to choose based on the context. Now, the way I'm connecting Retell with Claude is using Zapier's MCP servers. So if you've used Claude Cowork or, Claude in general, you know that you can just go to customize and then you can add a whole bunch of different apps. You can connect apps. You can see that there's a lot of different apps here, but there's quite a few apps missing as well. Quite a few major platforms that are missing. For example, if I search for Retell, you can see that Retell is not actually available here. So the problem that we have is how exactly do we connect apps that are not available inside of Claude? And that is using Zapier MCP servers. Now, if you don't know what Zapier is, it's basically an AI automation platform that allows you to add tools for more than 8,000 apps. Pretty much any app that you can think of, you can automate it with Zapier, and that is including Retell. So Retell is the app that we're going to connect it. It's actually fairly simple to set up. And the best part is that Zapier's MCP server is actually free for us because we're not going to be using an insane amount of tasks. I think up to 100 tasks, it's free. But if you want to go beyond that, you can get the paid plans as well. But the way this works is that you're just going to go to mcp.zapier.com. You're going to find a link to this in the description as well. Once you're there, you can just create an account or login. And once that is done, you can just click new MCP server. And then you're going to select whichever platform you're using. For us, we're going to select Claude. Now it's grayed out for me because I've already done this. So I'm just going to click the server. Once that is done, it's going to ask you to connect, and connecting this to Claude is actually very simple as well. All you need to do is just go to the connect tab and then press add to Claude. It's going to redirect you to Claude and it's going to have you sign into your account. Once that is done, you're going to be all good. After that, you can go back to configure. And now here we're going to be adding our tools. Now I already have my Retell AI tools added, but obviously if you have a new MCP server, you're not going to have your tools. So just click add tool and then search for Retell right there. And you can see all these tools are available for you to enable. What we're interested in is get a call. Get a call is basically going to give you information about a call that you just made. And also you go down to make a call. This is another one that we're going to have to enable. This is what was actually going to allow Claude to make phone calls. But once you've selected both of these, just click add tool and they should be added. That is pretty much all you need to do inside of Zapier. So back in Retell, again, the way you get to this website is just go to retellai.com. You can also go to the link in the description below. Once you're there, just create your account or log in. Again, it's free. You are going to have to purchase a phone number though. That is something that you need to in order to call someone. So the way you do that is by going to phone numbers. And then if I click plus, buy a new number, you can, you have all these options. You can pretty much select any number and just click purchase, and that should give you the number. It's going to be $2 a month, so I think it's not super expensive. So once you do that, you're going to have access to that number, which you can then connect to an agent. But before we actually go ahead and make our agent, let me show you guys how to get your API key that you can put inside of Zapier. So that's also fairly simple as well. You just go to settings, API keys, and then you can just click add key, and that's going to give you a new key. You can just copy that and then paste it back inside of Zapier. Now with that being done, let's go ahead and start building our agent. So all we need to do is click create an agent, and we're going to do a voice agent. And let's just do a single prompt agent, which is going to keep it, fairly simple. Start from blank should be fine, and then create. Once you do that, it's going to take you to your retail agent builder platform. And here it's pretty simple. All you need to do is just give it a prompt. And then for the most part, it should be fine. You can obviously go ahead and customize your speech. You can add a knowledge base if you want, and you can even, go into advanced settings and all that stuff. But all we really need to do is just type in our prompt, choose our voice, choose our model, choose our language, and that should be pretty much it. And by the way, my prompts were also generated by Claude. So all you need to do is just go to Claude, tell it, I want to make a retail agent for, following up with my clients, for example, right? Write me a retail prompt, and that's going to make the agent perform its task. And whatever it gives you, just copy paste that in. You might have to modify it after you test your agent here. You can just test your agent and talk to it and see how it performs. But once that is done, you should be pretty much ready to go. So let me just paste in my prompt here. Again, all this was generated by AI. I didn't write any of this. But after that, I just like doing one thing. The default voice that they give you, Simo, it's not super realistic. I think this Grace voice is one of the best for voice calling. I think it looks a lot more realistic than the default one. So I'm just going to select this. Once that is done, all you need to do is just copy your agent ID. So all of your agents, whatever agents you have, just copy their IDs, because that's how Claude will select which agent to call. Just go to Claude and make it understand, what it's supposed to do. And that is going to be done with this prompt right here. So I'm just going to leave this in the description, by the way, if you guys just want to copy this. But you can see that it just tells it that you're a voice assistant for an office insurance company with the ability to make and retrieve phone calls using Retell AI via Zapier MCP. You can see that it lists all the available agents. So lead follow-up agent and the agent ID. This is the ID that we just copied right here. So it just tells the agent all the agents that it has available that it can use. You can, again, add as many as you'd like. After that, it tells it to always pick the most appropriate agent based on the context the user provides. If it's unclear, ask the user which agent to use. And then it just gives it instructions of, how to make a call. So our from number is just going to be the number that we purchased from retail. And then we're going to be using the Retell AI make a phone call tool. That is the tool that we enabled inside of Zapier. Always pass the correct override agent ID based on the purpose of the call. And then after the call is registered, save the caller ID so you can retrieve that later, and confirm to the user that the call has been made and share the call ID. And then it tells it, how to get the call. Use the Retell AI get a call tool with the call ID and, everything that it needs to return. And then we just have some general rules. So, this is just to give Claude some context of what exactly is that we're trying to do. So I'm just going to send this, and let's see how it works. The reason why I'm using Cowork, by the way, is so that you can schedule calls with this as well. So for example, if I'm like, call John at 3 p.m. today, here's his number, follow up at 3 p.m., right? It's going to schedule a task and call them at that specific time. You need to make sure, however, that your computer is on, because Claude Cowork only works if your computer is on. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, that's pretty much our entire setup. If I just ask it to call me, it is going to call me again. So I'm not going to do that. Another thing that you can do is you can even create a skill using this. So let me actually ask it to do that. Create a skill. So whenever I say /call, you can use this to call someone. And as you can see, the skill has been created, and I can just save the skill. So now if I just say /call and Nalpe and my number and ask him if he wants to renew his insurance policy. And that's all I needed to do. I'm getting a phone call on my phone. I'm just going to decline this, but you guys get the idea of how, how powerful this can be. Again, there's no limit on how many retail agents you can create. You can create 100 agents and have them, do their own respective tasks. And this is a really flexible system. Again, you can also hook this up with something like Google Sheets, for example, and create a whole CRM of everybody you call, and even have the schedules there and make this a really advanced system. My job here was just to show you guys how this works and how you can sort of set it up. I really hope you guys experiment with this and, build something cool of your own. If you do, be sure to let me know in the comments below. It's going to inspire me and other people from our community as well. But with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.